Hello out there, the world, the YouTube community. Good evening. Mark Latham here, Watchtower Alert 2. I'm now sat in the chair. It's still warm from where my wife has just shared her heart with you. If you haven't yet seen the follow-up talk that she's just done, posting regarding her marking talk, then please stop this now and watch that first, and then come back to this one. The reason I'm on is because it's my wife, and there's a few things I'd just like to say because I love her. She is my wife and I love her with everything I've got. So I've been sat next to her while she made that posting, and I've gone through every emotion in the book, as any loving partner would. I wasn't around. I didn't know her when she went through what she went through as a young married woman and with a 3-month-old baby. You've seen the tears there. Now, whether or not she should have shown such raw emotion, there would be some that would say I could never do that. But that's my wife. And at the end of the day, after she finished that, she said, I hope it helps someone somewhere. And I said, boy, darling, it will. Because I would encourage anybody else that's out there that has experiences, no matter how small you might think they are, share them. Because this organisation, this Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, needs to be exposed. It needs to have the veil taken away from it so that everybody can see exactly what they're up against when you get baptized. I think we've seen through her video and the marking talk, now you've got the full picture. This is completely truthful, everything that she said. She'd have no reason at all to fabricate any of that. You've seen a patriarchal system. You've seen men dominating a young woman with a 3-month-old baby. You've seen a presiding overseer and his son, and the odds against her living and breathing and flourishing in that so-called Christian congregation from that point onwards. It just isn't going to happen. She became basically a problem, and they needed to get rid of that problem. She did the most natural thing in the world, which was seek legal advice, because she was asked to get legal advice, because the legal wagon was already in motion by her running away husband. She had nothing, and her friends were evaporating around her, because this was a PO, this was his son, this was their congregation. She was really up against it. So well done. Well done. Well done to that brother that gave such a beautifully slick talk. Wonderful. If you listen to it, it's like silk. Wonderful. How to condemn a woman. How to condemn a woman. A defenseless woman. How to strip her of her dignity. Whatever dignity she had left after her husband's left her. Well done, that brother. Well done. Let's hope your wife never has to go through the same hell that mine did. My wife's asked me, she said, I forgot to ask, when does a marking talk finish? A very good point. When does it finish? Well, for her, maybe I can answer that for her now. It finishes right now. It finishes here today. She's going through a healing process. You know, she's going to have a bath in a minute. We're going to run some candles for her, some nice soft music, and she's going to just soak it away, because she's gone through a healing process tonight. We both believe that. She's harbored those thoughts and that grief for years, and she's never had any chance to retort on all of you dear brothers on the way that you handled her case. I find it fascinating that I too listened to that marking talk on tape for the first time the other day. I haven't heard it. That's like my wife, she hasn't heard it for years. I mean, I don't even know if she has heard it, but my father-in-law's come up with this tape and we've listened to it, and I've never heard it. I heard about the fact she had this marking talk, and I knew what effect it had on her. But listening to it was extremely uncomfortable. It makes you feel like a little boy sucking your thumb in a Kingdom Hall again. Go into like a trance with it, because you're getting sucked back into that evil way that they manipulate and use smoke and mirrors around the scriptures. She's out of it now, and she's healing. And the reason I'm on here is to say that that woman has a family around her that love her. She has a husband that loves her. She knows that. She has her father, who loves her. And a whole world, a whole community out there that we're just making a lot of friends now that think the world of her. So I'd like to put this message to all of those that try to manipulate her doom, try to shove her into the curb in the street, homeless, destitute. They didn't give a damn about what happened to her, as long as she was away from them, as long as she was away from that seedy little nest you call a Kingdom Hall in Swindon. You are so pleased that eventually you could get her out of the way. You didn't care about her health, her emotional well-being, her financial well-being. You wouldn't have given a monkeys if she'd have put a rope round her neck and killed herself. That's a fact. And there are so many that do kill themselves, that take pills, hang themselves, cut their wrists open in a bath. We've heard it all. Another sad and sorry tale from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. You are not Christian. You really aren't. So she's been through the mill, she's out the other side, and as I said, she's now sharing that because we believe and we pray so much now together and as a family that this will help others. And I'm here to make sure that you know that there's been a rubber stamping of this tonight. That's it. She no longer lives in turmoil. She's really gone through what's known as lancing that boil. You know those great big boils you get on the side of your neck there, where it becomes so big and painful, you need to have it lanced, and you're not looking forward to getting it lanced because it means using a sharp scalpel and someone that knows what they're doing. And of course when you're doing this and you lance it, you can imagine the stuff that comes out when you lance that boil. It's full of pus. Guess who's the pus? It's a no-brainer, isn't it? And I won't hold back that language because that's exactly what she's been through. Pus. Rancid. Lying, manipulating people. You should be in a state of shame right now. Do we hate you? Absolutely not. And let's get this absolutely clear. I'm furious at the way she was treated. I was given that God-given quality, like everybody else, to be angry. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's a time and a place for everything. But you know what? We love you because we know this is an organisation that's doing this to you. We really do. And we can overlook all of those things because we want our brothers and sisters to remove themselves from this organisation. We need you to get out. It doesn't matter if you fade away, if you disassociate yourself, or even do something deliberately to get yourself disfellowship. Just get out. It's not going to do you any good. You will become extremely unhappy. And if you're not ready, because most of you are, the ones that we knew anyway. I am angry. I'm very angry. And I know that I need to release that anger through prayer, and I do, and I get over it. But I don't like seeing my wife get so upset. But I know this was for a good cause, and I know she has now lanced the boil. And all of that stuff that was in the boil, which is you lot, has now gone. And if you don't want to be described as pus within a boil, then I advise you to seek forgiveness. Wake up, realise that you've been involved in a great big conspiracy that pretends to love Jesus Christ. You actually believe that, don't you? You actually believe that you are the supported regime on earth that Jesus Christ is using. So, a message to all those that are on the brink of leaving. Do it. Take that step. But pray about it. And if you are an atheist, then obviously you've got to use your own judgment. But you're not going to be happy where you are. You really aren't. My wife is still shunned by all of her family. That hasn't changed. She'll live with that till the day she dies, probably. But as I said, we've moved on. And we said to you we would share our story with you. Well, this is an important part of the story. And from that first video that we did to this one so far, we are sharing a story with you that's ongoing. Her mother is still very critically ill, from what we can gather. And this is only through hearsay. They're not telling us anything. We don't even know where she lives now, in the same town, but nobody tells us anything. So she's going through a lot. She's been through hell, and she'll probably go through a lot more difficulties. But you know, there's one thing she said when I sat there, and it warmed my heart. She said, but even with all my tears, she said deep down she's happy. And she is. And you know what? None of you can ever, you can't reach her anymore. You can't touch that. You can't get to her anymore. She is surrounded by love. She is surrounded by the love of Jesus Christ. And we make no apologies for that. We are Christian now. And we're growing in Christian strength. We're growing in where Jesus Christ wants to take us next. And we believe he is taking us places. We don't know where yet, but we've asked for him to use us in whatever capacity that might be. And whether or not that's just staying in the house and being a strong family or other things, we'll wait and see. But we're willing and offering ourselves to move forward. Something that you can't even comprehend as you sit there with your religious activity within your kingdom halls. I think I've ranted on enough, but it was to just make it very clear that my wife is fine, she's stable, she's happy, she's well loved. She's all those things that you tried to destroy, but you didn't succeed. And you won't be able to do it in the future, because she's a very strong woman, and she will not allow this to get in the way of her life. And I, for one, am very glad to have met her after the event, and now we can I've just wondered what she'd been through when I started courting her. My goodness, I didn't realise it was so much. But you kangaroo court men, if you think that by sitting in your seedy little kingdom halls, lying to sisters like you did, ultimately, there are many women within this organisation that are treated appallingly by you men. And I'm a man, and I'm disgusted. From the pit of my stomach, disgusted at the way you treat women. It is shocking beyond the call of the duty. I could never ever have been an elder. I would have walked away within an instant, because I cannot stand the way you treat women. You are a disgrace in the way that you do that. Time and time again, horrendous experiences that we hear about where you treat women in such a way. And now this lady, a young woman, her husband runs off, has an affair, PO's is the dad, she gets slaughtered. Get her out. We want her out of this kingdom hall. And do you know what? It worked. But in the long run, it didn't. It didn't work. As Jesus said, he that is last will be first. There's true meaning in those words. So we pray for you. We pray that you can be forgiven for this. We pray that you start by asking for forgiveness, because that's where it all starts from. We pray that you wake up. And we pray that this organisation gets destroyed for its disgraceful manifestations, its disgraceful way that it pretends to be God's channel on earth. And to all those sisters out there, and brothers, run. Get out of it. Listen to what my wife has just said. Nothing good will come from you being in this organisation. You are wasting your lives. Thank you for listening to my rant. It's heartfelt, and I pray that this will help people somewhere, somehow. Maybe next week, next month, next year, who knows. We pray that we can help others. That's all we want to do. And if that makes us bad people in some eyes, then you really do need to look at yourselves and ask yourselves, why am I so critical of these people? Think about that. Lots of prayers. Good night.